everybody, Miss Chloe here with a very important question. Does the sun move around? Does it move around a lot or just a little bit? We're going to figure this out today using something that is always with you all the time. Well, really, anytime that there's light. I'm talking about your shadow. So we are going to use shadows to prove that the sun does indeed move throughout the day. And all you need to get are a couple of familiar objects. First thing you're gonna need, some paper. Could be construction paper, could be plain paper, could be whatever paper you've got around the house. You're gonna want at least one marker, but it's even better if you can find two so that you have different colors, and some tape. Now, the last thing you're gonna need is gonna be totally up to you. You just need an object that's going to make an interesting shadow. Maybe it's an action figure, maybe it's something you've crafted yourself. Whatever it is, I want you to find it, and then I want you to meet me outside. Let's go. So here's what I found. This little guy used to be a planter. I'm a much better teacher than I am a gardener, so you can see that my plant has sadly since died, but I think it'll be perfect for our little sculpture shadow challenge. So I went and I found the sunniest spot I could. Not right here, obviously, because I'm standing in the shade, but right over that way, I've got a really sunny top of a parking garage that I think will be a perfect place for us to observe how shadows move throughout the day. So let's go over there and get set up. So I'm starting off by taking that construction paper that I brought from inside, and I'm taping down just the corners. That way our little paper, as well as our statue, aren't gonna go flying with a big gust of wind. And now I'm ready to trace. So I see that my shadow is being cast, and I'm gonna go ahead and take one marker, and I'm just gonna draw around the edge of what I see on the shadow. You might have to get a little creative with how you reach. Maybe switch hands, but that's okay. It doesn't have to be perfect. If you bump yours, just move it back where it was and keep trying. Okay, so I've just about gotten my dino in place. I'm gonna give it a little wiggle from where I bumped it, but now I think it's set. We can see the outline of the shadow that it's making, and we can go ahead and head back inside. We'll come back a little bit later so that we can observe where our shadow moved and what it looks like next. So it's been about 5 hours, and I think it's time to check our shadow. Got my new marker, new color. Let's see. So our shadow is definitely very different than this morning. This morning I was drawing in green. Now I'm gonna draw in blue. I'm gonna once again trace the shadow on my object, trying not to bump it. Maybe switching hands if I have to. I'm really tracing just what I see on the page. So here's my masterpiece, courtesy of the sun and this little guy right here. Let's go back inside and we can talk about what we're seeing. Well, here it is, my masterpiece. I know it might not be the most beautiful piece of art that you've ever looked at, but I actually think it's really cool how different the shadows looked just over the span of a few hours. We had our initial shadow casting to one side of the paper, and then by the time I checked on it again, it had totally flipped over itself and made this really cool, almost mirror effect going on because of my little dino planter and our little help from the sun. Now, earlier I said that we were doing this to test how the sun moves during the day, and I think we can see that our shadow certainly moved. When I talk about the sun moving though, I don't mean that the actual sun itself is like shuffling around us. That's what people used to think. We used to think that the earth was always still and the sun moved around us in this great big circle. Now we actually know that it's the opposite. The sun stays steady and the earth is going to be taking laps around in what we call orbit. As we spin around though, we're also twirling, which means sometimes we're facing the light of the sun and sometimes we're not. Because of this spin throughout the day, the angle that the sun is shining light on things on the planet changes too. And that's how we get interesting effects like this, flipping the shadows around as we kind of change the way that the earth is relating to the light from the sun throughout the day. Pretty awesome.
MOSH Connect relies on support from our community. If you like what you just saw, please consider donating at www.themosh.org. And give us a like on social media at MOSH Jacks so you can stay connected.